My brother-in-law raised his glass, bragging about flipping the family cabin for a massive profit. I just smiled because I've owned that deed for 3 years and the police were outside. My brother-in-law, Chad, is the ultimate clout chaser. You know the type. Always wearing fake designer watches, talking about his next big crypto play, and acting like he is the main character in a movie no one else is watching. For years, he looked down on me because I am a boring software engineer who doesn't post my life on the gram. He called me Safe Alex. He literally told my sister Sarah that I lacked vision. Well, Chad's vision just earned him a 4-year sentence in federal prison, and I am currently sitting in a $20,000 hot tub that he paid for. Let's back up. Our family used to have this incredible mountain cabin in Aspen. It was my grandfather's pride and joy, but after he passed away 5 years ago, the estate was a mess. My parents couldn't afford the taxes, and my sister Sarah was too busy enabling Chad's entrepreneurial dreams to care. They were going to sell it to some faceless developer. I couldn't let that happen. Without telling anyone, I used my savings and a massive bonus from work to buy the cabin outright from the estate. I didn't do it for the flex. I did it because that place was my childhood. I hired a private property manager, kept the deed in an LLC called Granite Holdings, and spent my weekends there in total, blissful silence. The family thought the cabin was just sitting there, rotting in legal limbo. I let them think that. It was easier than dealing with Chad asking me for a loan every time he saw my bank account. Fast forward to last Thanksgiving. We were all at my parents' house. Chad was acting extra. He was wearing a turtleneck and a blazer like he just stepped off a yacht. Midway through dinner, he stands up, clinking his glass with a silver spoon. "Everyone eyes on me," he said, that punchable, smug grin plastered on his face.
"I have a massive announcement."
I know the family has been worried about the old cabin. Well, I've been doing some deep-level networking. I officially secured the property rights and I'm starting a luxury flip. We are talking marble counters, floor-to-ceiling glass, the works. I'll be netting a cool 7-figure profit by spring. The room erupted. My mom started crying, saying Chad was the savior of the family legacy. My dad patted him on the back, looking at me with that, "Why can't you be more like him?" I sat there, frozen, piece of turkey halfway to my mouth. I knew for a fact that Granite Holdings, also known as me, had not sold that property. "Wow, Chad," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "That's incredible. How did you get the deed? I thought the estate was locked down." Chad didn't even blink. "It's all about who you know, Alex. I worked out a deal with the county and the estate executors. It was complicated, way above your pay grade. Just know, I'm the owner now." He was lying. He wasn't just lying to be cool. He was committing felony fraud in front of the cranberry sauce. For the next 4 months, I watched his Instagram like it was my full-time job. It was insane. He was posting day 1 of the flip videos. He was actually there. He had hired a high-end construction crew. I checked my security cameras, the ones I had hidden in the trees, and saw trucks arriving every morning. I called my lawyer David. I told him, "David, my brother-in-law is currently trespassing and performing unauthorized renovations on my property. What do I do?" David laughed. "Alex, he's not just trespassing. If he's claiming he owns it to hire those crews, he's likely forging your signature on permits and contracts. If you stop him now, you get a half-finished mess. If you let him finish, well, he's essentially giving you a free multi-$100,000 renovation." I decided to let him cook. I watched the escalation through my phone screen. Chad was living his best life. He was gatekeeping the location from the family, telling them it was a surprise reveal for the 4th of July. He was gaslighting Sarah, telling her they had to pour their entire savings and some private investor money into this project. I started getting weird calls. It was a contractor named Miguel. "Is this the owner of the Aspen property?" he asked. "Who is asking?" I replied. "This is Miguel. I'm doing the stonework. Look, the guy I'm working for, Chad, he's been paying me in cash, but now he's asking me to sign some weird NDAs, and the permit numbers he gave me don't match the county database. I'm starting to think this isn't his house." I met Miguel in person. I showed him the real deed. I showed him the LLC papers. Miguel's face went white. "He owes me $40,000. Miguel whispered. "Keep working." I told him, "I will personally guarantee your payment, but I need you to do something for me. I need every single document he gave you, every forged signature, every fake permit, and I need you to keep a log of every time he claims to be the owner." Miguel was savage. He wanted his money, and he hated being played. He became my inside man. While Chad was busy posting TikToks about grindset culture from my balcony, I was building a digital mountain of evidence. He had forged my name on 3 different loan applications. He had used my identity to secure a line of credit. He was literally delusional, thinking he could sell the house, pay back the loans, and no one would ever know. The stakes were astronomical. He had spent nearly $400,000 of investor money, which turned out to be life savings from his own parents and some shady business partners he met at a gym. Finally, the 4th of July arrived. The grand reveal. Chad invited the whole family to the cabin. He even hired a caterer. When we pulled up, I had to admit, the place looked stunning too. He had added a massive wraparound deck, a professional-grade kitchen, and that $20,000 hot tub I mentioned. My parents were in awe. awe. Sarah was beaming, looking at Chad like he was Elon Musk. Welcome to the new legacy, Chad shouted, holding a bottle of expensive champagne. I did this for all of us. This house is going on the market tomorrow for $2.5 million. Everyone cheered. My dad turned to me. Alex, you really should apologize for being so skeptical. Chad really stepped up. I just nodded. You're right, Dad. Chad really did something. But before we celebrate, I actually have a small gift for the new owner. I pulled out a thick manila envelope. What's this? More of your tax returns? Chad joked. Everyone laughed. Not exactly, I said, stepping into the center of the room. It's a cease and desist order and a copy of the actual deed to this property, which, by the way, has been in my name for exactly 3 years, 2 months, and 14 days. The silence that followed was deafening. You could hear a literal pin drop on the new hardwood floors. Chad's face went from tan to gray in 3 seconds. Alex, stop being a weirdo. This is my house. I have the papers. Show them, I said. Show the family the papers you used to get the home equity loan. The ones with my forged signature on them. Sarah stepped forward, her voice trembling. Alex, what are you talking about? Chad said the estate gave it to him. Chad lied, Sarah, I said, my voice booming now. He's been trespassing on my land. He's been using my identity to steal money from investors.
And Miguel?
The contractor you've been paying. He's already given his statement to the sheriff. Right on cue, 2 cruisers pulled up the long gravel driveway. The red and blue lights started reflecting off the floor-to-ceiling glass Chad was so proud of. Chad tried to run. I am not kidding. He actually tried to bolt out the back sliding door toward the woods, but Miguel and 2 of his workers were standing there. They didn't let him pass. The police walked in. They didn't even ask questions. They had the warrants. They had the evidence of identity theft and wire fraud. They cuffed Chad right there, in front of the catering staff and the horrified family.
Alex, do something, my mom screamed, clutching her chest.
I am doing something, Mom, I said. I'm protecting what's mine. As they led Chad away, he was screaming at me. You ruined me. You knew the whole time and you let me spend the money. You savage piece of. The door slammed shut. The fallout was intense. It turns out Chad didn't just borrow money. He had defrauded my parents out of $60,000 of their retirement. He had taken $30,000 from Uncle Mark. He had even used Sarah's credit score to open 3 different cards that were now maxed out. He thought he could flip the house secretly, pay everyone back with a profit and be the hero. But you can't sell a house you don't own. The investors sued him into the ground. Because I hadn't authorized the work, I wasn't liable for his debts, but I felt bad for Miguel and the crew. I ended up using the rent money I'd saved over the years to pay off the remaining balances to the honest workers. My parents were devastated. They spent weeks apologizing to me. My dad finally admitted that he had been blinded by the noise, and that he finally respected the way I handled my business. Sarah filed for divorce 2 weeks later. She realized that her ambitious husband was just a common thief who was willing to bankrupt his own family for a win. She's staying in my guest house now, getting her life back together. As for me, I kept the renovations. Every time I sit in that hot tub, looking out at the Aspen sunset, I think about Chad. He's currently sitting in a cell, probably trying to convince his cellmate to invest in a commissary flip scheme. He wanted main character energy. Well, he's the lead in a cautionary tale now. I'm still safe, Alex. But the view from my secret cabin? It's never looked better.